गुड आफ्टरनून जी। आप शुरू करिए, बच्चे अभी आ जाएंगे।
So, a very good evening to all. I welcome you to day 19 of 22 actions for biodiversity. So today's action is support environmental organizations. Today we have with us Dr. Nilima Jairat, Director General Pushpa Gujarat Science City, eminent personalities from 3 leading environmental organizations. Dr. Vishesh Uppal, Director, Governance, Law and Policy, WWF India. Dr. Livleen Kalo, Associate Director, Environment Education and Awareness from the Energy and Resources Institute, and Ms. Alka Tomar, President, Center for Environment Communication, and Dr. Rajesh Grover, Director, Pushpa Gujarat Science City. I request Director General Science City to please welcome our speakers and set the stage. Ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Livleen. Thank you. Once again, a formal very good afternoon to all three of you, Vishesh, Livleen, Alka. A very good afternoon to all the students who are here, all the teachers who are there, the mentors. We have students from schools as well as colleges. And a very, very warm welcome to all of you on this 19th day of the 22-day campaign. The campaign is primarily as per the CBD guidelines on building a shared future for all life. And we all are aware that the non-governmental organizations and communities have always played a very important role in biodiversity conservation. Amongst the organizations, amongst the speakers today, dear students, मैं आपको बताना चाहती हूँ कि आज जो हमने 3 स्टॉलवर्ड्स बुलाए हैं आपसे बातचीत करने के लिए, उनमें से एक हैं जो एक इंटरनेशनल एनजीओ नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से हैं, एक हैं जो एक प्राइवेट रिसर्च बॉडी, एक नेशनल लेवल की बॉडी से हैं, और एक एनवायरमेंट कम्युनिकेशन एजेंसी से हैं. And all 3 of them are very well known in their respective fields. अगर हम इंडिया की बात करें, friends, we'd like to keep the whole interaction in mixed language, English, Hindi, and if any one of you likes, even Punjabi. So traditionally हम सबको पता है कि इंडिया में या हमारे समाज में हम नेचर की पूजा करते हैं, और जो ट्रेडिशनल कम्युनिटीज हैं उन्होंने हमेशा अपनी बायोडाइवर्सिटी को, अपने लोकल एनवायरनमेंट को उन्होंने हमेशा उसे कंजर्व किया है, हमेशा उसका ध्यान रखा है. पर पिछले कुछ देर से, कुछ सालों से, जब से हम अपने आप को मॉडर्नाइज कहने लग पड़े, since then some of us have forgotten our responsibilities towards the environment, our responsibilities towards nature. And it is this reason why we all need to do these kind of campaigns, not only for International Biodiversity Day, but I must say that we should follow these every day. Give me a moment, please. So as I was telling you, and as we were discussing yesterday also, nature jo hai, it gives us a lot of services. It has got a lot of economic value as well. And that needs to be appreciated. The services which nature gives, that needs to be appreciated. But as we all know, everything cannot be done at the government level. The government needs partners. And who are the partners? The partners are you who work, who are in the field, who work, and the partners are many of these non-governmental organizations जो कि बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं नेचर अवेयरनेस के लिए, नेचर प्रोटेक्शन के लिए, नेचर कंजर्वेशन के लिए. From Worldwide Fund for Nature. It is an international organization which was set up in 1961, and it works for wilderness preservation and for reducing human impact on environment. WWF's vision is exactly what is the vision of this particular event. That is building a future where people live in harmony with nature. And together, me and Vishesh, we have been working on a few projects with communities. We also have with us Dr. Livleen Carlo. She is from a very, very prestigious private research institute in Delhi, the Energy and Resources Institute, which is basically doing a lot of research. And I know Livleen, she is doing a lot of work on environment education and awareness. She has been the coordinator of the Green Olympiad. पंजाब के बहुत सारे स्कूल्स के बच्चे ग्रीन ओलंपियाड में पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं. हो सकता है आज जो स्टूडेंट्स आए हैं उनमें से भी कुछ ने पार्टिसिपेट किया हो किसी टाइम पे. तो आज आप वो मैडम को मिलिए जिन्होंने आपको ग्रीन ओलंपियाड इतने साल करवाया है. Then we have Dr. Alka Tomar. She is the president of Center for Environment Communication, which is a specialized environment outreach and communication agency. It's a niche organization and it works for development of attitudinal change amongst children and youth. So she has also taken up a lot of projects on sustainable development issues with the youth of the country as well as with students. And you met her a few days ago also when we were discussing the environmental films. So she was the anchor behind those films the other day. So a very warm welcome to all of you. जब इतने सारे stalwarts हमारे बीच में बैठे हो, so the best thing is that the mic is handed back to the anchor to pass it on to the experts one by one. Thank you very much, all my experts, for being here. Thank you.
Very much, ma'am, and very well said. Now I would invite Dr. Vishesh Uppal to apprise us about WWF and its role and activities in biodiversity conservation. Dr. Uppal has over 30 years of experience in working on environmental governance, forest and protected areas, community-led natural resource governance and management, local institution building, local livelihoods development, human rights, gender and social inclusion, as well as sustainable development. She has represented WWF at intergovernmental processes, including the Convention on Biological Diversity, UNCCD, and open working group sessions on SDGs. I request Dr. Uppal to please take over.
Thank you so much, Loveleen. I hope everyone can hear me. Can you also see my presentation? Is it visible? Yeah. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thanks a lot. So what I'll do is I'll quickly take.
Yeah. Please put it on slideshow mode.
It is on a slideshow mode. Can you see it? It's on a slideshow mode.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. So basically what I'm going to do today is just give you a very brief snapshot of WWF, what it does, what it has been doing for so long. And I hope you like the journey. And then in case there are any later on questions or anything, or if you want anything, any more details, you can please put it on the chat also. So basically today, like what ma'am has said, we are going to look at how NGOs work towards nature conservation, biodiversity conservation, as well as sustainable development. So just, I think Nilimaji very clearly mentioned that, and I thought before I start about WWF, we need to very clearly look at why, so she, Nilimaji very clearly said that the science is now very clear, we cannot keep destroying nature, and, we are heading towards a biodiversity collapse. We are at a 6th mass extinction, right, which is threatening humanity. There is a financial risk to global economy from nature loss. So nature loss is not just that, we don't get to see tigers and elephants, but nature loss is also that it is going to impact us, and sustainable development. So without nature, there can be no sustainable development. So that is also something with which we need to look at. Plus, of course, what are we doing? Are we doing enough? That's something which is important. And of course that, it is also now a major driver loss of pandemics. Like, there is enough research to show that actually if you don't conserve nature, you can get zoonotic outbreaks. Of course, there is this Living Planet report, which very clearly says that the planet is collapsing. We have extinction rates which are faster. There are enough scientific evidences to talk of why we need to do nature conservation, and why today the role of NGOs becomes very important for that. And it is not just biodiversity or nature. There are many interrelated ecological challenges, right? So all of it actually comes and impacts us. So if we want good health, we want, to drink, what do you say, pure water, we want to breathe fresh air, we all need to ensure that we need to, conserve nature. So that's just as a brief snapshot. So here to tell you, so yes, WWF is part of an international network, which is called WWF, Worldwide Fund for Nature. But in India, we are also registered as an NGO, which is as a public charitable trust in 1969. We have been working for the last 5 decades. We have been working towards delivering innovative solutions for people and planet and nature. So it is not that we are just only working for nature, we are also working at this. This is just gives you where all we work. So we have some priority areas, which where we do our terrestrial work, which we call landscapes. We also work in marine areas, we also work in river basins, priority wetlands, and in all of these areas, we work with multiple stakeholders, and we do multiple activities. So whether it is doing environment education awareness, whether it is actually working with communities to provide alternate livelihoods, whether it is actually, doing some species monitoring, all of that. So we kind of work across these areas and in diverse ways. So our main areas of work, if you see, so we focus on a lot of wildlife and habitat, we focus on wetlands and rivers, we work on oceans and coast. We also look at climate and energy, we work on business. How do you make business, how do you reduce the footprint of businesses? And we promote sustainable agriculture. So these are our main focus areas of work. But for all of this work to happen, like I said, we do diverse things. We have these cross-cutting enabling, kind of programs, which is like, GIS and remote sensing, where actually we use these as a tool for working in across these sectors. We have policy, law and governance, which actually I look after. So how do you do policy advocacy? How do you do resource governance? These are the things which we work here. Then we look at legal wildlife trade. We of course have an education awareness program, and we have infrastructure and urbanization, because these are some infrastructure it's something which is actually impacting everything. So how do you ensure that the infrastructure which we are building actually does not harm in the long term? So if you can see the screen, these are the broad areas of our work. Again, like I said, these are the things. So what we do, what are the conservation issues? There are lots of conservation issues. Poaching could be one, human wildlife conflict could be one, habitat degradation could be one, coastal erosion could be one. So this is where, we then decide on what are the what is the priority for this area, and then we start working on those. Like I said, WWF works from global to local. So WWF India, as part of the WWF network, also engages a lot on the global level. We work at various UN forums, whether it is a convention on biological diversity, whether it's a climate change convention, whether it's a land degradation convention, migratory species, CITES convention, whether it's SDGs. So we all take part, and we are there for all these delegations. We do our policy influencing, advocacy, we build partners there, we work with local there, the NGOs, the CSOs, and other groups like tribal groups, women groups, and all, who work on these issues to kind of build a common agenda, on how people live in harmony with nature. And that is how we work in these areas. So we do a lot of global work, because we know that once a treaty is signed, then those countries have to actually implement them on the ground. So like, it is important to look at the global work also. And then of course we come down to our national and local level work. So like I said, conserving India's flagship species and their habitats. But how do we conserve? So one is that we do simple monitoring, that okay, how many species are there, what is their habitat like, is it degraded, what more is needed to done. Second is that who is living there, who's using that habitat, how are communities, do we empower communities to manage their resources well, do we provide alternate livelihoods to communities, how do we do community led conservation, right? So in this also, we also do national level policy advocacy, that look, we need to increase tiger numbers maybe in some places, we need to do, kind of do something for the beach when the turtles come to nest. So that's a lot of policy level work, it's a lot of field level implementation, it is a lot of awareness creation, it is a lot of research, so that our research actually helps us to decide what should be the priority actions for these areas. So that's something. So in all of the work which we do, we actually kind of do multiple activities on the ground. Similarly, with conserving India's river systems and wetlands, what is it, who owns the land, how does that impact if a river is eroding someone's farm, what can one do for it, how can we avoid that erosion, how can we encourage communities to also conserve aquatic species or to not pollute the river, or if something is polluted, then what are the steps taken to mitigate that. So these are the kind of things which we again work. Again, combating illegal wildlife trade, that's a component which where we also work to ensure, and we also raise awareness on activities which are considered illegal, which should not be done. And how do you actually ensure that there is capacity also for people to recognize that this is a part of a animal or a plant which is actually should not be traded or which is considered illegal. So we do a lot of capacity, we do a lot of on the field work, we also build partners to find out and create a lot of awareness about this. Again, enabling sustainable agriculture systems. So how do you ensure that our agriculture systems are not polluting the very farms on which they are growing things? How is there is no runoff from those farms? How are they using best management practices? How are farmers not overusing water, not overusing fertilizers? What is the kind of supply chain? So these are the kind of work we do with the farmers. Of course, we work with local communities for inclusive conservation, how communities can establish community conservation areas, how communities can actually do sustainable use of resources, how communities can actually get benefits if they're conserving an area. So these are some things which we work on the ground. Similarly, promoting sustainable business and consumption. How do we ensure that the businesses, we have a relationship with IBBI, which is the Indian Biodiversity and Business Initiative, on how businesses can reduce their footprints, how they can become more resource efficient, how they actually become responsible for what they're doing, how they can also contribute towards conservation. Then of course influencing urbanization and infrastructure development, right? Does this road really need to become a 6 lane? Can that road get an underpass done so that animals can cross freely? There are a lot of road accidents. You keep hearing in the newspapers also that this train had an accident and some elephant died, or on things like that. So how do you influence? So what is happening is human wildlife conflict also, because sometimes there's habitat degradation, animals are also moving out of their traditional habitats, or large animals like elephants need corridors, so half of the corridors are crisscrossed with roads and railway lines. So do we need to expand everything? Can we have some mitigation measures for those areas? Do we necessarily have to divide a forest into two by putting a road through the forest? So these are some things which we try and influence, which is a lot of policy work, a lot of surveys on the ground, talking to the communities on what they want. Do they really want this road? How can the road, if need be, can it be aligned? and all of that kind of stuff. So I think basically this is, I'm just giving you a kind of a flavor of what all we do. And like I said, nature is fundamental to humankind, but it is completely dependent on the actions and stewardship of humans. So while we know that we cannot do without nature, but nature is completely dependent on us. So whatever we do has an impact on nature, right? Nature cannot manage things on its own. If we leave it alone, it will bounce back. But the problem is that all our actions has some impact on nature, and that's what we need to ensure. So that's why we need to be very careful on what we do. Even if we are picking up a plastic bottle for water, and then we just throw it, I'm sure that also has an impact somewhere on nature. It is going to go down to the water or the sea or somewhere. So these are the kind of things we need to look at. So what is it that we need to do? What is it that WWF is trying to do? WWF is trying to find a path that puts nature and climate and people in synergy with each other, and within the boundaries of what our planet can provide. Sources are not infinite, right? I mean, MOEF has this nice logo which says nature protects if she's protected. So we cannot think that we will keep using, and nature will keep replenishing. That cycle is not something which can keep going on. We need to also ensure that we actually, live within what the planet can provide us. Again, because ma'am had mentioned SDGs, I just wanted to say, so unless we ensure conservation or we prevent nature loss, we cannot achieve SDGs. Sustainable development cannot happen. So if you just see as an example, there are two SDGs. We have been working a lot on SDG localization at a district level to see how SDGs can actually help promote integrated planning and better management of nature, and better synergies between nature and development. So these two SDGs, which is life below water and life on land, if these two are actually achieved, they contribute to 10 other SDGs, right? So protecting nature is not only an environmental issue, but it also a developmental, health, social and moral issue. So that's where I think I want to end. So it is vitally important for humanity's development. So whatever we do, the mangoes we eat right now, the squashes we drink, the what do you say, the green leafy vegetables we eat, everything is biodiversity. So that's something we must keep in mind. And I think together everything is possible, and that's what WWF does. WWF works with lots of partners across lots of areas to try and ensure that we all can put nature and people in harmony with nature. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for apprising us with wide range of activities of WWF. And very rightly said, the science is clear. We cannot continue destroying nature. So our next speaker is Dr. Livleen Carlo. Dr. Carlo leads the environment education and awareness programs at TERI. She has a vast experience of working in fields of environment research, outreach, and conservation education. She joined TERI in 2002, and since then she has been actively engaged in creating a niche for environment education, both within the organization and outside. As DG ma'am has already told that Green Olympiad. So Green Olympiad is a major project being implemented under her direct supervision. She has experimented and implemented several programs around basic education designs and innovative multidisciplinary ideas for youth of all age groups. Catching them young is the motto behind activities designed under the banner of environment education at TERI, and the focus is on channelizing energy of youth towards sustainable development goals. I request Dr. Carlo to please take over. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Dr. Loveleen. I hope I'm audible and you can also see my screen. Okay. I understand, like we have basically students and schools and colleges who are there for today's program. So I will also try to bridge the language gap of speaking in English, Hindi, and Punjabi. So taking forward today's talk, I hope this is comfortable with you. What DG ma'am had introduced in the start of the session, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੌਣ ਹੈ। ਫਿਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ, ਫਿਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਇਹ ਕੌਣ ਕੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਥੋੜਾ ਲਿਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਮੈਂ ਜੋ ਗੱਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹਨੀ ਹੈ, जो मैं आपको बताना चाह रही हूँ, that is how do we do it, हम लोग ये सब कैसे कर पाते हैं। At the end of it, we are all non-government organizations, हम लोग गवर्नमेंट स्ट्रक्चर में काम नहीं करते, लेकिन आपने देखा डॉक्टर विशेष ने कितना कुछ बताया आपको बायोडाइवर्सिटी के बारे में काम जो करते हैं। Taking it further, now I am coming to TERI. TERI is the Energy and Resources Institute. और ये जो स्लाइड मैं आपको अभी दिखा रही हूँ, इसके अगर आप टॉप में देखते हैं, एग्रीकल्चर, क्लाइमेट, एनर्जी, environment, habitat, health and nutrition and resources, ये सारा काम हम लोग टेरी में करते हैं। तो you must be thinking, how can one organization work on all these different diverse issues? These issues look diverse, but they are well integrated with each other. The modus operandi is such that we bank and take forward the thematic areas to the next level of implementation. TERI is well known for its climate change work, and you know how we have positioned India on a global scale when it comes to climate change. Climate change now has also taken attention of our senior leaders, senior politicians who are talking now of a net zero growth of the country. So थोड़ा अभी और आगे चलते हैं। थोड़ा आपको लग रहा होगा कि ये मैम फिर अब हमें बड़े बड़े वर्ड्स बताने लग गए, environment, climate change, TERI. So students, see, environment is there, different issues are there, sustainable development is also there. Again, you see the different pillars that we are working on, but environment education and awareness is a very important tool that TERI is judiciously using to connect our children, our young citizenry to issues that matter them. Finally, when we say what is sustainable development, we say the needs of the present generation and also the needs of the future generation. And who is the connect between the present and the future? It is the children, because tomorrow you are the ones who are going to be decision makers. TERI has a very extensive network of close to 10,000 colleges and around 50,000 schools across the country with whom we work. And what do we work on? These are mostly non-academic subjects, because we work on areas where TERI has expertise when it is working or advocating issues on an environment and sustainable development platform. So how do we connect climate to a classroom? How do we talk of health, nutrition, and hand washing? How do we talk of wash education? How do we connect agriculture, sustainable agriculture, and herbal gardens? So these are different areas where environment education plays a very important role. And our projects at TERI are around skill development. We talk about core skills, we talk of 21st century skills, we also advocate about green skills. TERI is a part of Ministry of Environment and Forest Green Skill Development Program. We do a lot of trainings with teachers. They were all on ground. In Punjab, like I can tell you, we have worked extensively in Amritsar, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, and also the Union Territory of Chandigarh. So there are several schools and teachers who are on our network. We have a very active RCE Chandigarh platform, which is also a part of a network that TERI is a part of, RCE UNU. Then we also work with the communities. So work with the communities is done with the environment education group when we are connecting the classrooms to the parent community. जब हम बच्चों को बोलते हैं कि जब आपकी पेरेंट टीचर्स मीटिंग है, आप अपने पेरेंट्स को साथ में लाइए, और जो आपने ये वेस्ट टू वेल्थ बनाया है, जो आपने सीखा है, जो आप स्कूल के एनवायरमेंट मॉनिटर हैं, उनके बारे में आप पेरेंट्स से बात कीजिए. So that is the connect over there. Then of course the other platforms also touched upon by WWF are also where we work on business sustainability and leadership. Our work is more on informal, non-formal and non-formal education programs, and we try to see that the teaching and learning is combined. So that is why we simultaneously work with teachers. We also work with children, and that is how our pedagogy is defined, that it can reach to everybody. तो एनवायरमेंट एजुकेशन के बारे में हमने कब सुना, क्या ये नया सब्जेक्ट है? बहुत अच्छा होगा अगर आप शाम को जाकर अपने पेरेंट्स के मोबाइल पर हिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरमेंट एजुकेशन देखें, तो आपको पता चलेगा कि ये एक बहुत लॉन्ग डिबेटेबल इशू है इंटीग्रेशन एंड नॉन इंटीग्रेशन का. बट आई विल नॉट टच द हिस्ट्री. आई विल टेल यू राइट नाउ where we are. Environment education is pitched very well into the SDG goal number 4, which talks about quality education. और जब हम quality education की बात करते हैं, तो we are automatically touching upon the 3 pillars of sustainable development, and that is why global competence, global learning skills is a part of environment education. अब आपको लग रहा होगा कि मैं ये सारी चीजें आपको क्यों बता रही हूँ. आई होप आप लोगों ने सुना हो द नेशनल एनवायरमेंट प्लान, द NEP. The NEP that is being implemented now, it is at different stages. So under the national education policy, you know, 2 major changes हैं. आपको पता होना चाहिए. पहले हमारा जो MHRD का डिपार्टमेंट था, एक मिनिस्ट्री थी, वो अब मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन में ट्रांसफॉर्म हुआ है. सेकेंड, within a national education policy, there are different ways, there are different preambles being proposed कि how we will make changes कि जो education है बच्चों के लिए enjoyable हो, mother tongue पर हो. It should be focused on not only the root learning but other co-curricular learnings, and how we should have apprenticeship and skill development a part of the environment learning. So that is where we say that ESD, environment education, is going to play a lot of role, because organizations, institutions like TERI, CEC, WWF, they will help you unravel the mystery of NEP and also help you in working on your projects. TERI क्या क्या करता है? हम जो अब बोला कि हम प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं, हम वर्कशॉप्स ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं, टेक्निकल ट्रेनिंग, को करिकुलर ट्रेनिंग का NCERT, SCERT के साथ, एंड ऑल्सो ऑन आवर ओन. वी डू अ लॉट ऑफ ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज, सिमुलेशन एक्सरसाइजेस. तो ये सारी स्लाइड्स वैसे भी मैं आपके पास छोड़ रही हूँ. You can go through them, and if there's a requirement, we can discuss. But also, if you see, there is a picture over here of students performing dance on the stage. So this is just not a recreational activity, but this was a fair organized around the theme of water conservation. So we see that different environment issues are linked in the most effective way so that it can reach you. Here in the first picture, you see how to check the water quality. आपका स्कूल का टाइम टेबल है और उसके ऊपर टिप्स दी गई हैं how to check the water quality. How do we work? एक टेरी इंस्टीट्यूट है, कहाँ इंडिया में हम लोग दिल्ली में, गुवाहाटी में, बैंगलोर, मुंबई, ये हमारे ऑफिसेस हैं, हेडक्वार्टर्स दिल्ली में है. बट हम बहुत ज़्यादा काम जो अपना है डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के साथ मिलकर करते हैं. वी वर्क अ लॉट विद गवर्नमेंट बॉडीज, विद कॉर्पोरेट्स, इंटरनेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस, ट्रस्ट. सो दिस इज हाउ वी स्प्रेड आउट. And also I will go forward to the thematic focus areas. Biodiversity, if you see, is one of the areas, but we're also touching the different issues listed on the slide. Green Olympiad, ma'am had kindly introduced that is a program Terry does. Yes, it has spread its wings to schools across the country. I will very soon get back to your institution and request you to be a part of Green Olympiad. Again, we do it on online medium now because of the COVID, and from next year again, we will go back to a paper form. Green Olympiad for youth. This is done with college students. So if there are college students here, you can check the details for 2022, and this is how we can connect with you. DST के साथ हमारा एक program है. I think time is also being indicated to me, so I will also rush the slides. We do a lot of content development, which is on IEC and publications, classroom sessions. Again, there is a portal and there is a mobile based app. So here we are talking about reaching out to the school community and promoting science and health communication. So this is a very ambitious program. YCC, a big call out to all college students. अगर आप colleges में हैं, please हमें contact कीजिए. We will see to it that you are a part of this program called Youth Climate Conclave, and you will be a part of an international movement which is also connected to MOEFCC. So these are different pictures of YCC, and also very recently students ने European Union के president से भी मिलने का उनको opportunity मिला. Evaluation काम करते हैं हम लोग. ये एक उसका स्लाइड है. बहुत ही इंटेंसिव इवैल्यूएशन है across 6 districts in Karnataka in one of our dream projects. Then again connecting you to the international community, working across the coastlines, a project with US consulate. Then ecotourism camps. Agar summers में any time during the year you want to be a part of our eco camps in Mukteshwar. Terry has a presence in Mukteshwar. Please reach out to me. I will see to it that this camp is organized. Very, very educational, and also it will enrich your curriculum information. A part of the STS and international network. And these are the different URLs. They are with you. You can log in and be a part of it. I'm not showing you the Terry film, but there's a link available. You can also go on the YouTube and check for Terry introduction film. So this is broadly what I wanted to talk to you about. And I also hope that today is going to be a start of this exercise and engagement with you. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing with us activities of Terry in the field of environment, education, and awareness. So our next speaker is Ms. Alka Tomar. With an experience of more than 2 decades in environmental communication, outreach, and capacity building, Ms. Alka Tomar is founder of Center for Environment Communication and Center for Youth. She has worked on climate change, biodiversity, environmental education, water and sanitation, and other developmental issues. She has specialization in climate change communication, environmental research, and communication. She has also organized various international and national deliberations and discourses on range of climate change issues across India with policymakers, local government, climate experts, communication professionals, and media. I request Ms. Alka Tomar to please take over. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm audible here.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
सबको बहुत बहुत नमस्ते. और बहुत अच्छी 2 प्रेजेंटेशंस के बाद मेरे लिए कुछ ज़्यादा कहने को रह नहीं जाता है, क्योंकि टेरी और WWF का काम सब जानते हैं सेक्टर में एक माइलस्टोन वर्क है, और काफ़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस और काफ़ी पॉलिसीज़ और डायरेक्शंस और एक्टिविटीज़ यहाँ से इंस्पायर होती हैं. तो यहाँ से वहीं से मैं शुरू करती हूँ जहाँ से विशेष और लवलीन बात कर रही हैं कि ये आज हमारे 22वां एक्शन में 2 दिन रह गए हैं टू कंप्लीट दिस, आपका जो पूरा मैराथन चल रहा है। और आप सबने बहुत अच्छे से बहुत सारी चीज़ जानेंगी। आज मैं ये कह सकती हूँ कि बायोडाइवर्सिटी को लेके आप सब हमसे ज़्यादा जागरूक भी होंगे और समझदारी भी आपकी काफ़ी उसमें बड़ी होगी। अभी ये देखना है कि इन 22 दिनों के बाद, मतलब 22 दिनों का मतलब है करीबन आपने 22 घंटे लगाए होंगे, और अगर 100 लोग एक बार देख रहे हैं तो कम से कम 2200, 3000 से 4000 या 5000 घंटे सबने मिलके इसमें दिए हैं। तो उस घंटों, उस इन्वेस्टमेंट ऑफ टाइम का वैल्यू क्या हम निकाल के लेके आ रहे हैं। तो यहाँ पे मैं बहुत ब्रीफली अपनी संस्था के बारे में बात करती हूँ। मेरी स्लाइड्स पे मत जाइएगा क्योंकि मैंने अब ये सब वो की हैं, लेकिन ब्रॉडली मैं आपको बताती हूँ कि जो हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है सेंटर फॉर एनवायरमेंट कम्युनिकेशन, इसका जो बेस है और प्रेमाइसिस है वो इस तरह से शुरू हुआ कि मेरा खुद का बैकग्राउंड एनवायरमेंट और एनवायरमेंटल एजुकेशन, एनवायरमेंट कम्युनिकेशन का है। और जो डिफरेंस environment communication larger terms में, because obviously environmental education formal और informal sector है, but communication जिसमें हम सारे माध्यम, सारे जो मीडियम हैं यूज करते हैं अपनी बात को रखने के लिए, और बिहेवियर और एटीट्यूड और अपनी प्रैक्टिसेस को चेंज कर ले। जैसे मैंने कहा कि आपने अपने इतने घंटे दिए, तो अब हम क्या कर रहे हैं, तो नॉलेज हो गई, अब हमारा एटीट्यूड क्या होगा, फिर हमारी प्रैक्टिसेस पे क्या काम होगा। तो ये जो हमने इन 19 दिनों में आज आपने डिफरेंट जो है माध्यमों का इस्तेमाल करके संस्था ने बताया कि क्या बायोडाइवर्सिटी के अलग अलग फायदे हैं, नुकसान हैं और क्या कर सकते हैं, उसके बारे में यही मेन मुद्दा है कि हम कम्युनिकेशन कैसे करें, किसको करें और कहाँ करें, उसका क्या फर्क पड़ेगा। तो हमारी संस्था सब तरह की ऑडियंस, और हम ऑडियंस इनको बोलते हैं, उनके साथ काम करती है। और ये हमने 2014 में इसको स्टैब्लिश किया था। तो हमारा यूथ हमारा सबसे बड़ा लार्जर फोकस है। हम 2 लाख से ज़्यादा यूथ के साथ पूरे कंट्री में एसोसिएटेड हैं। इनफैक्ट एक दूसरे प्रोजेक्ट में यूजीसी और मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन जो है वो हमारे पार्टनर हैं, जहाँ पे हम पूरे भारत में सारे इंस्टीट्यूशंस के साथ में जुड़े हुए हैं, जितने भी कॉलेजेस और यूनिवर्सिटीज अक्रॉस इंडिया हायर एजुकेशन में। फिर बच्चों के साथ, यूथ और के साथ में हमारा काफ़ी काम कॉर्पोरेट्स के साथ में होता है, मीडिया और लोकल गवर्नमेंट और पंचायत के, लोकल गवर्नमेंट जिसको हम पंचायत बोलते हैं। और मेन है हमारा ज़्यादातर कोलैबोरेशन और पार्टनरशिप में हम लोग काम करते हैं। क्या काम करते हैं, मैं इन तरह की स्लाइड्स पे ज़्यादा नहीं जाऊँगी, आप देख लीजिएगा इसमें। So communicating for creating sustainable societies is the mission that we all are driving and we all are working towards. So this is ये important slide आपके लिए है कि हम जब काम करते हैं तो हम देखते हैं कि हमारे ये 5 सेंटर हैं। हम इन 5 थीमेटिक सेंटर में हमारा काम चलता है। हम क्लाइमेट चेंज कम्युनिकेशन कैसे करें, कैसे हम क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा कम्युनिकेशन और इंफॉर्मेशन पहुँचा सकें। फिर बायोडाइवर्सिटी कम्युनिकेशन का, फिर वाटर सैनिटेशन हाइजीन, ग्रीन फिल्म्स जो है, जो हमने 15 तारीख को इसको लेके काम भी किया, और कॉर्पोरेट्स को कैसे हम इसमें इंगेज करें, तो ये सबके बारे में है। और कुछ हमारे प्रोग्राम होते हैं जो हमें लगता है कि हाँ हमें ज़्यादा करना चाहिए, जो हमारे थीमेटिक एरियाज में नहीं आते हैं, तो हम उनको लेते हैं। इस तरह से हम काम करते हैं। हम ग्राउंड पे भी बहुत ज़्यादा एक्टिव रहते हैं, तो रिसर्च भी है, मॉनिटरिंग एंड इवैल्यूएशन, और बहुत कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग करते हैं। तो ये हमारे बोर्ड मेंबर्स हैं, बट ये हमारे कुछ मेंटर्स हैं जिनके साथ हम काम करते हैं। कुछ हमारे प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं। मैं इनफैक्ट इसको लेके आपको एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग पोस्टर दिखाने वाली हूँ। ये प्रोजेक्ट बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है हम सबके लिए। इनफैक्ट अगर चाहिए तो बाद में हम एक अलग से इसके बारे में और बात कर सकते हैं अलग से प्रोग्राम में, कि जैसे WWF ने विशेष ने बोला कि ह्यूमन वाइल्ड लाइफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, लेकिन क्या उसके मिटिगेशन मेजर, कैसे हम उसको रोकथाम कैसे कर सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे वाइल्ड लाइफ और जो इंसान है, ह्यूमन है, वो भी हम सद्भावना के साथ रह सके, उनको भी रहने का हक है, हमें भी रहने का हक है। तो सद्भावना कैसे बढ़ा जाए, को एक्सिस्टेंस, हारमोनियस को एक्सिस्टेंस की यहाँ पे बात हो रही है। इस प्रोजेक्ट में सबसे अच्छी बात क्या है कि हम जो है नेशनली अवेयरनेस और कम्युनिकेशन पार्टनर है, जहाँ पे हम लोग जो स्पीशीज भारत सरकार के साथ में सेलेक्ट हुई हैं, लेपर्ड, एलिफेंट, वाइल्ड पिग, क्रोकोडाइल और गौर एंड स्लॉथ बेयर एंड ऑल दैट, इनके ऊपर किस तरह का कम्युनिकेशन उनके हैबिटेट बिहेवियर के बारे में लोगों तक पहुंचाया जा सके, क्योंकि जब तक आप समझेंगे नहीं उस स्पीशीज को तो आप उसके बारे में किस तरह की सद्भावना रखेंगे अपने मन में। दूसरी बात है कि अगर ऐसी स्पीशीज आपके सामने, आप वहाँ पास में रहते हैं या फिर शहर में भी रहते हैं, और अगर आपका इनकाउंटर होता है तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए। तो ऐसे डूज एंड डोंट्स के पोस्टर मटेरियल डेवलप हो रहा है, जिसको हम अलग अलग माध्यम से डिसमिनेट करेंगे और मिनिस्ट्री की साइट पे भी ये अवेलेबल होगा। बल्कि पूरी की पूरी एक गाइडलाइंस बनी गई है भारत सरकार के GI-0 प्रोजेक्ट के माध्यम से कि किस तरह से नीचे लेवल पे काम होगा। और हम पंचायत के साथ भी इसमें 3 स्तरीय की एक कमेटी ढांचा बनाने के लिए उसमें काम कर रहे हैं। और ये प्रोजेक्ट हमारा वेस्ट बंगाल में, कर्नाटक और उत्तराखंड में चल रहा है। बल्कि जो लर्निंग्स निकल के आएंगी वो पूरे भारत के लिए अगले 5 साल के लिए उसमें से लागू की जाएंगी। और काफ़ी अगर बहुत सारे इसमें कंपोनेंट हैं, हम फिल्म्स बना रहे हैं इसमें, और इसमें हमारे पोस्टर्स हैं, और हम लोग महिलाओं के साथ, युवाओं के साथ रेडियो प्रोग्राम, काफ़ी सारा काम इसमें चल रहा है। बाकी जैसे मैंने बोला कि वाटर सैनिटेशन हाइजीन है, यहाँ पे हमने जो है मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स, MHRD एजुकेशन, यूनिसेफ, इनके साथ में मिलकर ये देखा कि जब स्कूल बनते हैं और स्कूल में बहुत फोकस होता है कि पानी की सुविधा, टॉयलेट की सुविधा और हैंड वॉशिंग की सुविधा दी जाती है और बनाई जाती है, चाहे वो किसी के फंड से बनाई है, तो उसको कैसे उसका रख रखाव होना चाहिए, क्या सिस्टम है। तो हमने ये पूरे भारत में इसको अलग अलग सिस्टम को पढ़ा और उसके बेसिस पे गाइडलाइंस को सरकार को और यूनिसेफ को दिया। इस तरह से कुछ लेसन बनाए गए, कुछ हमने अलग अलग प्रोग्राम्स को इवेलुएट किया गया। कोई अगर प्रोग्राम चल रहा है किसी जगह पर तो बोला जाता है कि आप आइए देखिए कि ये हम ठीक से चला रहे हैं या इसमें कुछ और कर सकते हैं। ये GIZ का एक पोस्टल प्रोग्राम पे हमारा काम था। इस तरह से हम जाके लोगों से बातचीत करके चीज़ें समझते हैं। ये एक प्रोजेक्ट था जहाँ पे हम यूथ की वॉइसेस कलेक्ट कर रहे थे, समझ रहे थे कि यूथ का क्लाइमेट से क्या कनेक्शन है, क्या नाता है, क्या वो करना चाहते हैं। तो ये पूरे 5 देशों में हमने ये प्रोजेक्ट किया। उसके बाद ये फाइंडिंग रिलीज की। जैसे मैंने बोला कि हम मीडिया के साथ भी काम करते हैं, तो ये बायोडाइवर्सिटी एक एक्ट है जो आप लोगों ने सुना ही होगा कि हमने है भारत में, और उसके बहुत सारे बहुत महत्वपूर्ण और सुंदर अलग अलग उद्देश्य हैं। तो क्या इसके बारे में हमने मीडिया को कैसे अवगत कराया जाए, उसके बारे में हमने मीडिया के साथ में काफ़ी सारी चर्चाएं आयोजित की मिनिस्ट्री के साथ और नेशनल बायोडाइवर्सिटी अथॉरिटी के साथ। तो ये सारी हैं। फिल्म फेस्टिवल जैसे हमारा एक थीमेटिक सेंटर है तो हम करते हैं, बटरफ्लाई गार्डन सेटअप किया। फिर यूथ के साथ एंगेज करके क्लाइमेट नैरेटिव बनाया कि कैसे क्या एग्जैक्टली यूथ कहना चाहता है क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में, इंडिया की क्या राय है। फिर कोलैबोरेशंस, मैंने बोला कि हम लोग काफ़ी कोलैबोरेशंस में काम करते हैं। तो ये मैं जैसे वाइल्ड लाइफ है तो एलिफेंट फेस्टिवल हमने ऑर्गेनाइज किया। यहाँ पे हमने एलिफेंट फेस्टिवल उन बच्चों के लिए ऑर्गेनाइज किया जो अंडर प्रिविलेज हैं, जो अलग अलग आश्रम्स में रहते हैं और अलग अलग NGO के साथ रहते हैं, वो स्कूल में नहीं जाते हैं ज़्यादातर। तो उन बच्चों के लिए फिर हमने ये उनको उनके साथ बहुत सारी अलग अलग एक्टिविटीज़ की। प्रयास की एक संस्था है जो उनके साथ काम करके तो ये सब है। किस तरह से हमने ये गेम्स डेवलप किए, सोलर का डेमोन्स्ट्रेशन, ये हमारा फेस्टिवल। ये हम एनवायरनमेंट कम्युनिकेशन, ये एक चीज़ है कि हम चाहते हैं कि क्या एनवायरनमेंट कम्युनिकेशन में भारत में हो रहा है अलग अलग स्तर पे, उसको क्या हम एक जगह ला सकते हैं और उसकी जो लर्निंग्स है उसको लार्जर लेवल पे डिसमिनेट कर सकते हैं। तो ऐसा हमारा इस अवार्ड के और बाकी चीज़ों की वजह से प्रयास होता है। ये कॉर्पोरेट्स को, जैसे अगर एक जगह है और जहाँ पे नेचर ट्रेल बनानी है, रेस्टोरेशन करना है नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज का, और फिर वहाँ पे बंड बनाने हैं, तो फिर हम कॉर्पोरेट्स को इस तरह से उसमें इंगेज करते हैं। तो ये प्रेजेंटेशन है। मैं आपको एक इसलिए मैंने इसको फास्ट खत्म किया क्योंकि मुझे आपको एक दिखाना है कि किस तरह का जो मटेरियल है। शेयर स्क्रीन अगेन। ये देखिए, ये मैं थोड़ा छोटा कर रही हूँ, आपको स्क्रीन पे शायद विजिबल होगा। ये देखिए, यहाँ पे जैसे ऐसे टोटल 10 स्पीशीज भारत में सेलेक्ट की गई हैं जिनका कन्फ्लिक्ट ज़्यादा है, इम्पैक्ट उनके ऊपर और ह्यूमन के ऊपर ज़्यादा पड़ता है, वाइल्ड लाइफ के ऊपर। तो ये इस तरह से है कि अगर एलिफेंट देखा तो आपको क्या करना चाहिए और क्या नहीं करना चाहिए। ये डूज एंड डोंट्स के पोस्टर्स हैं, और इस तरह से जैसे जहाँ पे काफ़ी सारे टूरिस्ट होते हैं, टूरिस्ट जाते हैं, उनको नहीं मालूम है, या लोग जाते हैं तो उनको इस तरह से ये इंफॉर्मेशन अभी डिसेमिनेट होगी। ये सब अवेलेबल होगा। ये बहुत सारे वाइल्ड लाइफ एक्सपर्ट्स और साइंटिस्ट ने मिलके इस तरह का मटेरियल हम डेवलप कर रहे हैं, बट साथ में मिलके ये सारा प्रोसेस चल रहा है। तो दूसरा मैं आपको एक और दिखा है, अगर आपको एक और शो यू, या अनदर 1 minute मोर एंड देन जैसे ये है, क्योंकि इनकी बेसिस पे काफ़ी सारा कम्युनिकेशन होगा, और जो लोग स्कूल्स, कॉलेजेस, महिलाएं, किसान, सबके साथ में ये काम है कि हम हाथी जैसे हाथी उसके बारे में क्या जानते हैं और क्या जानना चाहिए, ताकि हम उसको ज़्यादा समझ सकें और उसके बिहेवियर को अप्रिशिएट करते हुए कन्फ्लिक्ट कैसे कम हो सके या मिटिगेट हो सके, मतलब ना हो। तो इस तरह से है कि ये बताया गया कि किस तरह से उसकी लाइफ साइकिल है, कहाँ रहता है, कहाँ क्या किस तरह का खाना है, किस तरह से माइग्रेशन का है, इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्ट्स है। तो इस तरह से और ओवरऑल अप्रोच में क्या रहता है। तो ये सारा मटेरियल डेवलप हो रहा है इस प्रोजेक्ट में, और जो हम लोग आगे सबके लिए डिसमिनेट करके, आई थिंक ये 10 स्पीशीज पे हम अलग से भी बात कर सकते हैं, अगर बच्चों को इसमें इंटरेस्ट होगा तो हम कर सकते हैं। सो कलेक्टिवली ये है कि अलग अलग संस्थाएं जुड़ी हैं, अलग अलग संस्थाएं काम कर रही हैं कि हम एक बहुत सुंदर पर्यावरण, और जो भी अभी पर्यावरण के साथ में चैलेंजेस और प्रॉब्लम आ रही हैं उसका समाधान निकाल सकें, और हमारी फ्यूचर जनरेशन आपको हम एक बेहतर सुंदर भविष्य और सुंदर वातावरण दे सकें। तो ये हम सबका ओवरऑल ऑब्जेक्टिव है, ये मैं कह सकती हूँ। तो मेरे लिए बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया टाइम और हमें ये अपॉर्चुनिटी देने के लिए। थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, ma'am. Science City has collaborated with CEC at several occasions. We appreciate efforts made by CEC in the field of environment and climate change. Thank you so much for. So we will be taking up questions. Participants who would like to ask questions, please raise your hand. We will unmute you, or you can drop your question in the chat. Kindly raise your hand for the questions, or drop your question in the chat.
I think there's someone called DL who wants to be unmuted in the chat. अगर वो कर पाएंगे तो maybe they have a question.
Ma'am, someone what's the name of the participant?
Looks like DL.
Kamal, can you see on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So unmute the participant.
No, I can't see.
Can't see.
Yes.
Ma'am, we actually can't see the participant on our screen, but if you can see, you can also unmute the participant.
Okay.
Since you are the co-host. So there's an option, ask to unmute.
Kamaljeet Kaur.
Kamaljeet, would you like to ask something? No, ma'am. Someone from the technical team from PGSC, please kindly assist me because I can't see any hands raised on my screen.
Ma'am, it's not visible, not even on mine, but then I can see many feedbacks about like ma'am, DG ma'am ने पहले जब पूछा था वही questions वही rather answers मुझे नजर आ रहे हैं.
Okay, the feedbacks are there.
There is somebody who's trying to connect to the audio. Government Senior Secondary School, Jabbowal. I'm sorry, but it appears we have an unstable connection today.
Maybe due to that reason, that
Yes,
could be one reason, ma'am.
yes. Yes, technical team, please come up.
So,
Actually, there are some technical issues, I suppose, because we can't see any hands raised.
Normally, the students ask a lot of questions. क्या हो गया बच्चों? Can you hear us?
They can put in chat if they can't speak or something. Because the last day I remember, 15 तारीख को भी हमारा बहुत ज़्यादा questions थे.
Ma'am, I have given rights to the students to unmute themselves. Now they can unmute themselves and can ask the question directly.
Dilpreet has a question, Kamal. Please unmute Dilpreet.
Yeah, ma'am, I'm finding out him in the list.
Dilpreet, please unmute yourself. Okay, Dilpreet has a question from Vishesh ma'am.
Yes, Dilpreet. Please write down your question in the chat if you can't speak.
Dilpreet, आप अपना question chat में डाल दीजिए.
हाँ, इन्होंने डाला है अपना question.
Just written.
डाला है? I can't see. That I could not see biodiversity sites to work in Punjab. You mean you could not see the sites in my presentation, or there is none? There are lots in Punjab also. You know, you just go to the website of the Forest Department of Punjab, and there, if nothing else, you look at the in PPT.
In PPT.
Yes. So actually, the agriculture work we do in Punjab also. WWF does work on sustainable agriculture in Punjab, and so yes. But yeah, you know, we work across so many states, so there are at least, I would say, lots of states from where there were no pictures. But yes, and we work on wetlands. We work in Harike. Yeah, we work in the dolphin of the rivers, the Beas River. So yes, we do work in Punjab also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, Dilpreet, WWF is also helping Pushpa Gujral Science City. We are preparing, we are working on the bird biodiversity within Pushpa Gujral Science City. And WWF is helping us identify those birds. We have also come up with an e-book on the birds of Punjab, although we know that the e-book needs to be updated because it covers only 2 seasons. So 2 more seasons we have to work, and then we will update it. But you can, whatever we have till now, I think we have listed about 70 birds which have been seen at Pushpa Gujral Science City, which is quite a good number. That you can look at the book at our website. Then WWF is doing some very good work in the Harike wetland, as Madam Vishesh told you. They are working on the Indus River dolphin area, and probably they are also working in the Ghadial area at the Beas Conservation Reserve.
Yes.
So WWF is also involved in release of ghadials in Beas. So then there are many other areas where they are working. For example, in the Keshopur Mani wetland, WWF has helped us record species. So there are a lot of works which is being done. In fact, they are also working in the Roped area, which is also an international bird area. It is identified as an IBA site. So lots of work is being done.
Even to prepare some PBRs, I think we have done some work. Yeah, so we do
Yes,
work in Punjab also. Yeah.
Yes, you did. You did help when I was in the board at that time when you helped us.
Yes, I remember that.
So next time, Vishesh, when you come, you
have to show
examples of
a Punjab specific presentation. Yes, thanks for pointing it out. I also didn't realize that there were no pictures.
Then we have another one from Krishna Army Public School.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
Can you read it?
Yes, ma'am. Krishna is in class 6 from APS Kandori. So Krishna is asking, can I also join any of your NGO?
Class 6. So at least for WWF, we have these nature clubs and these programs for kids. That's what you can join. But I think for you to be even a volunteer for an NGO, I don't know, class 6 probably maybe a bit too young, but I don't know. But I can put you in touch with our education department, because I think then there you can be probably a volunteer for some specific things. Definitely. That is for WWF. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a question from Avika. The question is from Livleen ma'am. Avika is saying that I am a college student. I want to ask
how they can work with Terry.
Project related to environment or other related issues.
Yes, you please write to me in Terry. I will connect you immediately onto a project PI. See, right now you can immediately get involved in Green Olympiad for Youth. That is targeted only for college students. So that is a direct participation. Then, you know, in the past, we have worked very extensively with Layalpur Khalsa College. We worked with DAV College, Jalandhar, and we worked a lot with lovely LPU and Khalsa College, Amritsar. So these were 4 or 5 colleges where, you know, we were doing a project on water resource management. So at that stage, it was in 2018 that we were working there. Right now, this project is not operational, but I can connect you to the faculty in charges who were working with us, and they have taken their independent programs at college level. If you want to work a step further, you want to work only with Terry and not with those immediate institutions, definitely we can get you on board to the Youth Climate Conclave. That is an ongoing initiative, and I will send you the registration forms and how you can go about it. Easiest is keep checking the Terry website, www.terryin.org. So there are a lot of opportunities available on the website, or you could write to me and I could send you details. So you can work on volunteering basis, on internship basis, or as a participant to competitions. Thank you.
So Avika, you can write to us. We will connect you to Livleen ma'am, and she will connect you further to the concerned people. So any other question?
Since a long time, I can see that Government Senior Secondary School, Jabbowal, somebody is trying to contact, somebody is trying to contact us. Can you please write on the chat box? I'm so sorry of this technical glitch.
उनको ऑडियो का कोई इशू चल रहा है. They have issues with the audio. See, since we cannot see their mic, so we cannot actually unmute them.
Okay. So let them type in the chat if they want.
Okay. And
then there is another question in the chat. Please.
Singh, ma'am, do you work with local NGOs also? As I work for a local NGO, I would want if they can join you. So this question is from Livleen ma'am or Vishesh ma'am. Harjinder ji, please mention.
See, I can tell you, like, maybe Vishesh ma'am can add to it. When we are working on a local level, like working at the grassroots level is very, very important for us. TERI has functional projects on air pollution monitoring, which are happening in villages in and around Jalandhar. So there, you know, while TERI is planning out the work and all, we are also in connect with the local NGOs. So I don't know the name of your organization and all, but again here, please write to Lavleen Barad ma'am, and she can forward the question to me, and I will see that which specific department in TERI can be approached for this special request.
Any other questions?
Vishesh and Alka, would you like to add something to this?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always potential, and we are actually, as WWF, we look for local NGO partners because, you know, we can't be present everywhere. But again, it depends on where you are and what is the work which is being done. So depending on that, and if it is, you know, mutually possible, then definitely, because WWF does partner with NGOs across the country. So that should not be an issue. Yeah.
And I think just to add to what already told by Lavleen and Vishesh, ये जो local NGOs, मतलब local NGOs का मतलब ground पे on ground action और बहुत local issue को बहुत अच्छे से समझना. तो जब organization, I can say on everybody's behalf that national organization और local के साथ में काम करती हैं तो बहुत intensity nationally और locally आ जाती है. और यही इम्पोर्टेंट है कि डेफिनेटली ऐसी कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं तो वाइस वर्सा, और हम यूथ को भी बहुत सारी ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटीज देते हैं. तो बहुत सारे यूथ हमारे साथ कनेक्ट होते हैं जिनके हम फेलोशिप और स्कॉलरशिप प्रोग्राम्स करते हैं और लोकल पार्टनर्स के साथ मिलकर ही किया जाता है.
So there's a question from Bhajan Kaur from Genius International School. She's asking, ma'am, from where I can start all these services?
Services means?
So Bhajan Kaur ji, you can please unmute yourself and directly ask the question from our experts. Okay. 6th standard school. She's a student of 6th standard.
Okay.
From where, like, you're asking from what age, from which age? Because the question is not very clear.
Experts, I think we need to motivate them to keep the tempo going. A lot of tempo seems to have been built by this campaign. And if we handhold them now,
definitely
they would be able to continue. If we don't, then they will forget.
She's writing from which age I can start.
Well, you're already a part of it. You're a part of today's program, and we should congratulate all of you who sat and listened to us. So you are already a part of this program, and we'll see to it that you remain connected with us.
Yes, I think it would be nice if maybe, you know, Lavleen, you want to even share our email IDs or something, because, you know, if any child wants to get some more information, they should feel free to contact us. And you can start from any age, you know, conservation from home, from your ground, you know, recycling, everything small which you do actually helps to save nature. So you don't have to wait to connect to bigger NGOs to do it, but anytime
बच्चे अभी आप लोगों ने अभी आप लोगों ने इतने पिछले 18 दिन हर रोज एक अलग एक्टिविटी की, किसी दिन वेस्ट सॉर्टिंग करी, किसी दिन आपने फोटोग्राफ्स हेरिटेज ट्रीज की क्लिक करी, किसी दिन कॉम्पिटिशंस किए, तो ये सब दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द होल एक्टिविटी.
Okay. Yeah. So Sharda says the intention has to be good, isn't it, ma'am? Yes, of course, Sharda.
In fact, I think intention is everything. अगर आपका intention बहुत positive है, बहुत engaging है और बहुत proactive है, तो definitely बाकी चीजें will fall in place. So yes, शारदा, आपने बहुत अच्छे से सब कुछ को sum up कर रहे हो. Intention is one of the key things.
So no more questions, and it's time to wrap up. Oh, there's a message from Sharda. She says, my son is in grade 4. He saved 2 pigeons at house. They laid 2 eggs. Later they grew up and flew on their own.
So sweet.
That's how you
Congratulations.
love for nature. Yes.
So I would request Director Pushpa Gujral Science City, Dr. Rajesh Grover, to propose vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you, Dr. Loveleen, and it's an honor to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks. And we are really privileged to have some of the great women stalwarts on this platform who are working towards biodiversity conservation, especially with communities. And we are grateful to Dr. Vishesh Uppal, Director, Awareness, Law and Policy, WWF, Dr. Livleen Kahlo, Associate Director, Environment Education and Awareness from TERI, and Ms. Alka Tomar, President, Center for Environment Communication, for sharing the efforts being made by their respective organizations towards nature conservation, sustainable development, as well as creating awareness in these areas. I would once again like to extend our hearty thanks to all of them for agreeing to our request and sparing their valuable time and to be with us this evening. And I also express our gratitude to Dr. Neelima Jarrath, our the Director General, Pushpa Gujral Science City, for her guidance and moral support in conduct of this 22 days campaign being organized as a part of International Biodiversity Day celebrations. And I also take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to all our participants for joining us on this platform, their patient listening and interacting with our experts. Last but not the least, I acknowledge the support received from my colleagues at Science City, and my special thanks to Ms. Kamaljeet Kaur and Dr. Loveleen for successful conduct of this webinar. Once again, thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
It was great having
for having us
here.
over. Yes, thank you. It was really nice. Thank you.
It was very interesting, women-oriented panel. Thank you very much.
Yes.